think you had a good idea for me to go on Echo's time, but I don't think they trust me.
All right. Okay, I'd like to call to order the April 2026 work session meeting to order at 6 PM. Tonight, we have from 6 to 6:30 Budget Committee applicant interviews. And then at 6:30, Scappoose Bay Watershed update. And we have a full meeting tonight, so I'd like to make sure we get this all taken care of. So what we're gonna do, why don't we have two applicants? We have two positions open on our Budget Committee. What we wanted to kind of do, because it was Budget Committee meetings are within a month, wanted to get you guys in here to just quickly introduce yourselves to us. Unfortunately, three of our counselors are not here tonight. They're excused absence. Counselor Holmes, Council President Miller, and Counselor Ryuta. If somebody comes online, will you let me know, Susan? But I just wanted to get us introduced to you, ask you a question, and then answer any questions you have so you guys can kind of hit the floor running. Tonight, we'll start with Jennifer Voschel. If you would want to come up to the microphone. No. We ask that you speak really nice into the microphone so it can be recorded. We can hear you well, but the microphone will pick you up for the camera and the internet. Budget Committee, what I'm going to do is I'll start. We've got about 10 to 12 minutes each. Feel free if you have any questions for us anytime, let us know. But my question is, why would you like to be a member of the Scappoose Budget Committee?
The reason I was interested.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
The reason I was interested, I'm honestly coming here as a member of the community, as a mom to a 6-year-old. So that's more my reasoning. I have done a lot of business administration kind of things. I obtained a data analytics certification that I think could be really helpful to show some things. But I'm mainly coming as a mom. I believe that some decisions I've seen, I believe everyone's heart's in the right place, but as someone that has to maneuver a kiddo, there's just some things that have made me want to get involved.
Great. Okay, perfect. Appreciate it. Councilor Santiago.
Okay. What do you think, or what do you feel the role is in the Budget Committee, to be in the Budget Committee? So what do you feel the role is?
What it is in my head is I was thinking about utilizing my skills just to maybe help put together some things to make numbers make more sense. So I can be like, see, this is why maybe this or that is or isn't the way to go. I don't pretend to believe that I would say we can't do this or we can do that. I don't know, but I would like to contribute in that way from a number standpoint is what I was visioning.
Great, thank you. Councilor Haugen.
Jennifer, first, thank you for your interest and involvement. You know, that's what we need. We need community involvement to make the city and community function properly. But do you have a vision that would relate it to the budget for Scappoose, for our community? Do you have a particular vision for it for the future?
Again, coming from emphasis as a mother, there's things that I've seen where I'm not sure why some things were paid for, why some things after living here for 5 years have not still been addressed. So my goal would be to input on from someone that deals with the community and services and maneuvers to parks and libraries and all those different things. Just while contributing from a number standpoint, just to kind of help suggest what it's like to live here and not deal, but for lack of a better word, deal with the decisions that have been made over the past couple of years.
Can I follow up a little bit? So you said some things you feel that aren't supported financially by the city. Can you give one example of what that would be?
For example, the street that I live on, people go exceptionally fast, and it's fallen on deaf ears for 5 years. Every single resident of the street that I live on, the speed has never been addressed. But there's a speedometer on Highway 30. And I understand we live in the age of Teslas, but there's those, I don't even know what they're called. I don't have a Tesla. Those stations are at the
Charger.
library. Yeah.
Chargers.
Yeah. And I understand that those things, there's value to that, but there's just other factors, such as the example I gave, that just, it's like they don't exist. It doesn't matter how much anyone on that street in my direct community say anything, nothing happens.
Well, the
So,
good news is you'll learn a lot about that through going through the budget
Yeah,
process.
yeah,
So that's-
absolutely,
that's-
yeah.
That's a plus.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Councilor Murphy.
Yeah, I'd like to thank you for your interest in doing this and your desire to help the community get better. What would you say are the biggest challenges facing our community from a budget standpoint?
as far as given, you don't know what the budget is. Just again, going back to the other point, backing things where there is value in them, but then there's no more budget to consider other things that do deserve at least having a look at. They just have to sit there because there's no more budget.
Good. If you guys have any more points, appreciate it. This is great. We definitely appreciate you volunteering. We need more support. We need people out there too that have different perspectives,
Yeah.
different parts. So we really appreciate that.
Mhm.
There's a lot to learn, as I found, where our money comes from, where to go. There's a lot to learn. And so I think that's good to have that, a fresh set of eyes looking at the budget. What happens now is all of our department heads have put out what their request for the next year, kind of what they want to see, what their budget is. And they're going to bring that to us on May 11th is our first day. The last couple of years, several hours, we've gone through it. We've got through it all in one day. We have a couple other days scheduled if needed. So the budget committee itself, to me, it's just one day, but there's a lot more. We expect, hope that we'll get you last year's budget. You can go through it, kind of see all the categories, where the money's kind of going. You'll be able to ask questions, get up to speed on it. Any questions you may have, city manager Ben Bergener or us can answer those for you. And kind of going forward. About a week before, they'll send out their budget proposal for this next year. We'll ask questions on it, look at the changes. We just really we have a community group, this committee to kind of oversee it. We want transparency. We want you to see what we're spending our money on, what we're budgeting for. And if you have any questions, you guys are coming from all different parts of the city, some are here 5 years, some are here 30 years. And so we really, enjoy that different perspective from you. So we appreciate that there. Do you have any questions for us?
As far as when I get to look at the budget, am I able to make any comments or suggestions at that time?
Yeah, I'll get you a link to our last year's budget. It's online. It's in the website. You'll see all the categories. You'll see our police department budget, because that's where the property taxes usually go. Our wastewater, our water, that, comes from these budgets, and that takes care of that. Streets, you'll see if you stay tonight, we're doing some big street improvements. We're trying to approve a $225,000 engineering contract tonight to start sidewalking and improving some of these streets in here. And so I think it will be a lot in your first year, especially if we're in less than a month and have to really learn a lot about the budget. But I think as time goes on, you'll probably learn a lot more as you go. But yes, I'll get you last year's budget. You can kind of look at it, ask questions, learn it. And then when you get next year's budget, you can start looking and ask questions too. And then we all get together one night and just go through it.
Okay.
So, and then hopefully they give us a budget, a recommendation, and then we'll talk about it for a whole nother month before we approve it.
Okay.
All right. And anytime you have any questions, feel free to please just let me know. You got my email and my cell phone.
And Joe, you might note that don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know,
This is a fun experience. This is great to get involved. We're looking for help here. Appreciate it. Okay, thank you. Okay, now Angela, she got to see how it all goes. Spotlight on her. Angela Handren, you kind of saw how it goes. We'll go kind of through the same start to begin. I'll just ask, why are you, why would you like to be a member of Scappoose Budget Committee?
Yeah, so just hello, I'm Angela Handren. Nice to be here. I am relatively new to Scappoose. We bought a house in February, but I have been, I was born and raised in Oregon, so long time resident. And why did I apply? Well, first off, my kids have all graduated and they're out of the house and doing their own thing. It's just me, my partner, and my dog, and I want to give back. I want to give back to the community that I live in, that we bought a house in. I love Scappoose so far. We have had a great experience. I think that there's a lot of opportunity here. And in full transparency, I did not look at last year's budget yet, so I don't really know what that looks like. I always know that the struggle is usually resources. And I feel like I have a pretty balanced perspective and I have some skill set where you probably saw from my application, I worked in city government. I worked at the county. I've also worked at a state agency. And right now I'm overseeing a program that is 100% federally funded. So I've kind of seen the whole perspective and I feel like I love budgets too. So saw an opening and I was like, I'm going to put my application in and see how it goes.
Crazy. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Councilor Santiago.
Well, welcome. And I kind of did the same thing like you did when I came to Scappoose. So like, exactly how you felt. And my first commitment or trying to get back was through the budget committee.
Okay.
Now, and then I'm here. So, so there's a chance.
Yeah. Sure.
I don't know about that. But maybe.
So, just tell me, what do you feel is the role being in a budget committee?
So, and like I said, I worked for the city of Wilsonville for 6 years, so I'm very familiar with budget committees, and I would assume it's probably pretty same. It's an advisory committee. We're here representing the members of the community, and we're here to take a look at the budget, see where the money's going. Do we have any concerns? Do we have any questions? Probably asking lots of questions, maybe to help understand what resources are coming in and where they're going out, and then really to make a recommendation to the council, because at the end of the day, it's council that approves or denies.
Thank you. Councilor Hogan.
Well, again, welcome. So, and thank you. So before I ask the formal question, so what drew you to Scappoose?
Drew us to Scappoose. The outdoors, we are very outdoorsy people. We love the water. So the thought of being near the river was great. The house was for sure a draw. We looked at homes in the Portland metro area for a while, and pricing and for what you could get, we got kind of our perfect home here in Scappoose. And I'll tell you, it really wasn't on our radar in the beginning till we kind of started exploring. And we're pretty mobile. Like I said, we don't have any kids at home, so we could kind of go wherever we wanted. My partner works for the city of Beaverton, so we needed to be within a commuting distance because he does go in every day. And so, yeah, it was really, we kind of drove out here to look at the house and we were like, oh my gosh, the house is perfect. The community is super cute. It's really what we were looking for. And again, the proximity to the river and outdoorsy activity.
Cool. But so, and that segues into the question is, have you formed a vision for the community at this point? Or is this something that's the kind of amorphous?
No, definitely I haven't formed a vision. I would just say I can just see the potential, and I could see that, is there any opportunity to use the water as potential source of revenue or, tourism? And again, smart growth. I'm all about smart growth. It's certainly not let's bring in tons of people to Scappoose to tourism, but is there growth opportunities?
And by the way, I appreciated those comments in your application. So thank you.
Oh, good. You're welcome.
We have a park right on the river at the end of CZ Trail.
Yep.
and soon have a disc golf course. And-
Oh, I did
And
that.
that's great. We really, the guy right behind you is developing a park every day. And so, yeah, that's be great to have some
Yeah.
feedback there and,
Yeah,
Good.
resources for community and
yeah.
anybody else.
And you've been like, you were in Wilsonville. I mean, you've been in Oregon a long time, so you've seen bigger cities.
Yeah.
Wilsonville wasn't always as big as it is, and
Mhm.
you've seen them kind of grow, and we want to make sure it's smart growth. We don't
Absolutely.
expect to be that big, but any growth, we want to be able to handle it and still feel, I've been out here since 1980. It still feels small, even though it's almost triple the people, and we want to keep it that way, so.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and of course, taking into consideration job growth, bringing in higher paying jobs, housing. That's always the issue in all communities, right? Growing housing in a smart way where you've got housing that's affordable to people who live and work here.
Councilor Marquis.
So you've seen how cities work. It sounds like, what's your take on how disagreement and debate fits into a budget committee kind of situation?
Sure, sure. And I think that this applies to anything and not just a committee, not just budget committee. This is my philosophy at work as well. There's going to be disagreement and there should be. You are, as you mentioned in one of your comments, that there are different perspectives and that is what you want. You don't want everybody having the exact same vision going forward. You want all these different ideas coming in and going in because like my lived experience is going to be very different from yours and anybody else on the budget committee. And I think that's important. I also think it's very important to come at it with a sense of openness and curiosity where I can disagree with you, but I'm also going to do it with respect and put myself in your position and be like, oh, how did you come to that conclusion? Why does that sit with you and it doesn't with me? And just be reflective on that. So
Thanks.
Great. Do you have any questions for us?
you answered the one question of which would be the first meeting. So we talked about that a little bit. The only other question I have is what is the length of term that I would be signing up for?
10 years.
10 years.
What life?
Yeah, we'll get that. It's
Okay.
usually, again, it's not binding, but it's usually a 2-year contract. But with 2 openings, they might be offset. I'm not sure. So
Sure.
we'll look at that. But,
That'd be great.
yeah. What we'll do is, it's on our consent agenda. If nobody has a problem with it when we, can get into our regular meeting, we would just approve it through the consent agenda, the budget committee. If at the time of talking about the agenda, if anybody wants to pull it off and discuss a little bit more and then vote, we can, but that's where, I have it at this point. Let's mark that because when we vote, we probably have to put them into each one. So one at the end of this year, 2026, and then one at the end of 2027, 3-year terms. And we didn't get asked, Jennifer, but if you had your pick, would you prefer the one that ended next year versus the end of this year? So when I'll put that into consent agenda, what we're gonna put on there and vote on for which one for which term. Okay, appreciate it very much. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
And again, don't hesitate. If you have any questions, let us know. And then I'll send you a link to this year's budget. And then we'll get the other one probably 7 to 10 days before our first meeting, hopefully. Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Angela. Well, we should wait a little bit till 6:30 for when Scappoose Bay watershed update. Do I adjourn or we'll take a break till 6:30? Just take a break. Thank you.